G'day guys, it's Phantom, and today I'm going to be talking about the new Mandalorian season. I've been waiting a long time for this to drop, and it finally has dropped. All episodes, there is 8 episodes. So after the events of the Book of Boba Fett, we see Din Djarin and Grogu go through more adventures. In the first episode of the season, we see him needing to go into the waters of Mandalore in order to become a Mandalorian again, because he took off his helmet, broke the rule, and so now he has to go into the waters, and he again meets Bo-Katan, who plays a major role in the season. That is a great character. That she's a great character in the Clone Wars and Rebels. So seeing more of her is fantastic, and she is the standout of the season. So is Grogu, but she is the standout. This season isn't the best season. Unfortunately, it is probably the weakest season in the series so far, which is a bit unfortunate because this may be my favorite Star Wars show ever, probably behind the Clone Wars and Andor. Even though this is still better than most Star Wars shows that have dropped in the past few years, it still kind of a little bit disappointed me. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, it just was kind of anticlimactic, and I think that it went a little bit too Disney, which can be an insult, but yeah, I think that this show has gone a little bit too Disney. This is spoilers or spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus right now. In episode 1, we see him back in action. He goes to Mandalore, and in episode 2, he fights beside Bo-Katan, who doesn't really want to do anything anymore. She's just sitting on a throne, just chilling, doing nothing. She doesn't want to do any more adventures. But when they finally interact, she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to help you." I think their dynamic is fantastic. They work so well with each other. In episode 3, it's kind of sets up something, but it is kind of a throwaway episode. That's probably the worst episode of this season. Only one character actually has a story, which is one of the villains, even though that she doesn't really do that much apart from talk to Moff Gideon, who is in the last episode. Yeah, this episode is completely throwaway. I can kind of see why they had it in there, but I mean, why? Episode 4 is the most emotional episode. You get so much backstory on Grogu, and him surviving Order 66, which, by the way, we don't need to have every Star Wars project referencing Order 66. We've already gone through that tragic event before plenty of times. But in this case, I can understand why, because, I think the backstory of Grogu is incredible, and I am so happy that the actor for Jar Jar Binks got his praise, because he is fantastic in this episode. He plays the Jedi Knight who saves Grogu. The stuff that he's gone through since episode 1, as in the movies, he does not deserve it. Even though that, yes, Jar Jar Binks is an annoying character, the actor, you have to separate the actor from the character, which people never do. But he is fantastic. Episode 5, we see Bo-Katan and Din Djarin get some more Mandalorian. They have started to build a much bigger Mandalorian army, which is great to see again. Episode 6, people find this episode the worst episode because of one character who was played by Lizzo. Personally, I don't like Lizzo's music, but in this instance, I think that it was fine. The director who has directed some of the best Star Wars episodes, Bryce Dallas Howard, who fantastic. She should direct her own Star Wars movie. This episode was so much fun. We saw cameos from Jack Black, Christopher Lloyd, who I love to see, and obviously Lizzo. But this episode was just fun, even though that it had nothing to do with the story. It was just a fun little episode that was kind of filler. Episode 7 and 8 are easily the best episodes. Don't know which one's better. I am kind of tied between them. But episode 7 had so much action, so much great Star Wars moments that just made me feel good. And seeing everybody doing their thing was incredible. And Din Djarin's sacrifice at the end of episode 7 was like, please don't do anything bad. But then in episode 8, we found out that he survived that. So yes, and that was a very, very impactful episode. Even though that it was extremely safe, there was like no stakes at all. But they deserve a happy ending, in my opinion. Also, I have to talk about Moff Gideon because he was so cool. He is incredible. Played fantastically by Giancarlo Esposito, who I know mostly from the Breaking Bad series. He, as this character, is fantastic, and seeing him just, boom, 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 is fantastic. And seeing Grogu fighting on his own is also very, very incredible. And him in his own suit as well, his own robot suit, was also kind of funny. Even though that he didn't really do that much, it was just kind of like a vehicle. But yeah, that was season 3 of Mandalorian. I wanted more, but I guess what we got is fine. I think that by episode 5, I was thinking, has there only been like 2 episodes in? Because that's what the story has pushed. That's pretty much like what the story has progressed. It only felt like 2 seasons up until that point, but if this season was like 6 episodes, then it would have been fine. If they cut out like the 2 weaker episodes, then it would have, which out of nothing, it would have been a way better season. But I mean, it is what it is. That's what we got. So, yeah. Can't wait to see what they do next. I'm excited for the Ahsoka series in August. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. What are your thoughts? Have a good one.